They said he would never walk again. They said his back legs were gone for good. They said the kindest thing would be to stop trying. His name was Oreo. He was a tuxedo cat, black as midnight on top, white as snow underneath. Green eyes, wide and bright, the kind of eyes that don't know how to lie. And he was lying on the cold floor of a city shelter, unable to move his back legs at all. Nobody knew exactly what happened to him. The shelter intake form said only this: found in the street, rear limb paralysis, unknown cause. No name on the form, no history, no family coming to claim him. He was estimated to be about 2 years old, young enough to have his whole life ahead of him, old enough to understand that something had gone terribly wrong. The shelter staff did what they could. They gave him a soft bed. They kept him clean. They fed him by hand those first few days when he wouldn't move toward his bowl. But they were honest with each other in the break room. A paralyzed cat in an underfunded shelter. No mobility, no adopter interest. No clear path forward. One volunteer put it quietly: "He's the sweetest thing I've ever seen, and I don't know how to help him." That was the day Dr. Margaret first heard about Oreo. She was 58 years old, a retired physical therapist who had spent 30 years helping humans relearn how to walk after strokes, accidents, spinal injuries. She had just lost her husband of 27 years to a sudden illness. The house was quiet in a way she hadn't prepared for, the kind of quiet that sits on your chest. A friend sent her a photo of Oreo as a joke almost. "Look at this little guy. He needs a physical therapist." Margaret stared at the photo for a long time. Then she drove to the shelter. She walked in and asked to see the paralyzed tuxedo cat. The staff member at the front desk looked up slowly. "He's not really available for adoption, ma'am. He has significant mobility issues. We're still figuring out his care plan." Margaret nodded. "I understand. I'd just like to see him." They brought her to the back room. Oreo was lying on his side on a fleece blanket. His front paws were tucked under his chest. His back legs lay still and flat behind him. But his eyes were watching her from the moment she walked through the door. Alert, present, completely undefeated. Margaret sat on the floor next to his cage. She didn't reach in. She didn't make any sudden moves. She just sat there and said softly, "Hello, handsome. I used to help people learn to walk again. I was pretty good at it." Oreo blinked at her slowly, one long, deliberate blink. Margaret turned to the staff member standing in the doorway. "I'll take him." If you're watching this and wondering whether a broken animal can truly come back, stay with us, because Oreo's story is just getting started. And it's the kind of story that reminds you why we believe in second chances. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. The first 2 weeks were not easy. Margaret converted her spare bedroom into what she called a recovery room. Soft mats on the floor, low food and water bowls he could reach without straining, a low litter box with a wide open entrance, and a small wheeled cart, a wheelchair designed specifically for cats with rear limb paralysis. She had ordered it the night before she picked him up. The first time she placed Oreo in the cart, he panicked. He thrashed his front legs. He cried out. He pushed himself backward against the wall. Margaret didn't force it. She sat next to him on the floor and waited. 20 minutes. Then she placed a small piece of chicken on the mat about 3 feet in front of him. Oreo looked at the chicken. He looked at the wheels beneath him. He looked at Margaret. And then, very slowly, he took one step forward with his front legs. The cart rolled. Just slightly. Just barely. Oreo froze. Then he looked at the chicken again, and he took another step. Margaret pressed her hand over her mouth. She didn't want him to see her cry. The weeks that followed became a quiet routine. Every morning, Margaret would help Oreo into his cart. She would place treats just a little farther each day. She would support his hips gently, the way she had once supported stroke patients learning to stand again. She spoke to him constantly. "Good boy, that's it. One more, you've got it." The same words she had said to patients for 30 years. On day 19, Oreo crossed the entire length of the recovery room on his own. Margaret sat at one end with a piece of grilled salmon. He came to her, all the way across the room, front legs working, cart rolling, head held high. She didn't even offer the salmon. She just held him. And for the first time since coming home, Oreo pressed his face into the side of her neck and purred. A long, low, rolling purr, like a small engine finding its rhythm again after being silent too long. By week 4, Oreo had learned the layout of the house. He knew that the kitchen meant food. He knew that the big armchair by the window meant warmth. He knew that when Margaret sat on the couch in the evenings, that was his invitation. He would wheel himself to the edge of the couch, lift up carefully, settle him against her side, and turn on the television. He would stay there for hours, front paws folded, eyes half closed, purring steadily. The quiet in the house had changed completely. It was no longer the quiet of absence, it was the quiet of something whole. On the morning of week 6, Margaret woke up to an unusual sound, a soft thump, then another. She walked into the hallway. Oreo was out of his cart. He was lying on the floor, but he was moving. His back left leg, the one the shelter had written off entirely, was pushing. Just slightly, just barely. But it was pushing. Margaret called the veterinary neurologist that afternoon. 3 weeks later, after additional therapy and assessment, the verdict came back. Partial function returning in the left rear limb. With continued rehabilitation, real possibility of limited independent mobility. Not a cure, not a miracle in the way movies show, but a small, stubborn daily miracle. The kind that happens 1 centimeter at a time. Oreo is now living his best life. He uses his cart for longer trips around the house, but on slow mornings, he drags himself across the bathroom floor just to sit next to Margaret while she gets ready. He has claimed the armchair by the window as his throne. He has a preference for grilled salmon over canned food and is not quiet about it. He sleeps pressed against Margaret's legs every single night. And Margaret, who spent 30 years teaching humans to move again, says quietly that Oreo taught her something she hadn't expected. She says, "I thought I was going to rehabilitate him, but honestly, I think he rehabilitated me." Some animals arrive in our lives already broken, already labeled, already written off by a form that says, "unknown cause." Oreo was found unable to move. He was given a soft blanket and a question mark. But he had those eyes. Wide, green, undefeated eyes that never once looked like they believed the story the paperwork told about him. He just needed someone willing to sit on the floor next to him and believe in what those eyes were saying. Sometimes that's all any of us needs. So tell me honestly, if you had walked into that shelter and seen a paralyzed cat in the back room, would you have stopped or would you have kept walking? Tell me in the comments below.